Uh, well, I'm going to make this video about, Pat, giving you my opinion why the Democrats don't have common sense anymore. They used to, years ago, they go along, I didn't agree with them, but they made some sense, you know. Nowadays they don't. And I wondered why. I kept down through the years, I know the party changed, and I got to thinking, what changed them? Why are they thinking? It seems like everything's like nonsense now. It's not common sense. And I got to thinking that leftism and wokeism and Marxism and globalism got into it and took over the party. It's like a virus. Like they're viruses. They got in, you got to look at it that way. It's like they're like viruses that got in with the party and took it over. And I thought, well, why didn't it affect the Republican Party? And we seem to have our common sense, you know. We don't, as far as we don't talk nonsense. We're not ultra liberal like they are, you know. And I thought, well, I think the reason is the Democratic Party is in for power and control. We're not. We want to get our policies over because we think it'll help the people. But we don't want to control them. We want free speech, liberty, freedom, but they want control. So these viruses was comfortable with the Democratic Party. That's what they want. All these viruses, I call them viruses, you got to look at it that way because they're taking hold of the Democratic Party. The leftism, wokeism, Marxism, they all want power. And of course the Democrats wanted to, they just blend together and make, they're comfortable with each other. They wouldn't be comfortable with us because we're not out for control. We're out to put our policies to help the people. And we haven't changed. We're the same way we always was, but they have changed, And what happens is these viruses, I'm going to emphasize that a lot, these viruses got in there, took control, and took away their common sense. And if you don't have common sense, there ain't no gray areas. You're going to go into nonsense, and that's what happened. It took away their common sense, and they're into nonsense. And well, we can get into some of their policies. It don't make sense anymore. It used to years ago. No, I could go along with some of it. And for instance, the border, open borders. Now, back when Obama was in, he was against open borders. It made a little sense, Maybe some other things they didn't, but at least he made sense on that. And he was against open borders. In fact, he made some cages for the children. And when Trump got elected, they were blaming Trump on making cages for his children, and it was Obama that did it, But he didn't want, coming through like they are now. And as far as being nonsense, as far as open borders, letting all these from all over come in, terrorists, people got mental problems, spies, the Chinese are coming in. They're probably spies, The drug dealers are coming through, more fentanyl?
Fentanyl.
Yeah, coming through. 5 times more than when Trump had the border. And what it's doing is taking jobs away from the blacks mostly, Hispanics, more crime. You know you're going to have a lot more crime. These are not goody people coming in, all of them goodies, We're going to have more crime. In fact, I heard they're paying them $2,200 a month now. And I don't know what you get for unemployment, but I don't think you get that much if you're unemployed.
Well, you have to have work to get unemployment.
Yeah, but I mean, anyway, they get $2,200. But it's more crime. We're going to have to build more hospitals, more schools. They just keep coming. And if the Democrats win, they're just going to keep on coming. And these schools we got and hospitals, they ain't going to be able to handle that. They're going to build new schools and hospitals. And there's other, and of course, and you got to, where are you going to put them at? You got to build buildings, they'll have some place to live, and it's just chaos, which they love. They love chaos. And that's nonsense. If you close the border, let a few come through at times, check them out and everything, well, that's okay, that makes sense. But flooding in like they are now, they're invading us. And it's like there's no end to it. And they come from all over, And another thing, now that don't make sense. Crime's going up and they want to fund the police. That don't make any sense. That's not common sense. You're into nonsense again. You want to refund the police, not defund them, But see, it's all backwards with them. They're into nonsense. And another thing, like San Francisco, they allow you to steal $1,000 before they're even going to prosecute you. You can go in a store and with a bag and steal $1,000, but they think that's going to help crime. Get rid of some of the crime or stuff. That's just going to make it worse. And they never talk about it. I've seen it on YouTube, some podcasts, videos. Blocks of stores are closed up on account of crime. They're stealing so much they have to close up. The blocks of them, they're never mentioned. You never see it on the news or nothing. In San Diego, San Francisco, yeah. And that sure the heck ain't going to help crime. And they believe in second chances, Not only second chances, third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances. They kind of think like, well, maybe they had a bad childhood or something, or they were abused. And they kind of think, well, that gives them, they can go out and do what they wanted to because they had a bad childhood, And they arrest them. I feel sorry for the police. They run them around, trying to arrest them, and they let them back out again. Yeah, they just pull them in, and they lower the charges. If it's a major charge, crime, they lower it so they can get them back out again and take them and let them go out again. And they even want to do away with their record. If they get a record, they want to do away with it, so it's always a second chance. So if they had 3 or 4 chances on their record where they were arrested 3 or 4 times, then that wouldn't be a second chance. It would be a 4th or 5th chance. So they want to erase the record. So when they get arrested again, that would be their second chance. They can give them another chance because it wasn't recorded anymore. And that sure the heck ain't going to help crime. And it is so bad. It is so bad. Let me tell you, about 6 months ago, the police were called to this apartment house because they found blood in the drains. They were stopping the drains up with flesh and blood and all that. And they called the police, and they found these 2 guys in this apartment killed this couple and were cutting them up. And they arrested them, took them in. They let them back out again. Yeah.
Did they say why?
Not well. That program, The View, The governor of New York was on that program, and they asked her, why did you let him out again? And she went on with some long-winded explanation. I couldn't get much sense out of it. I don't know what the reason was why they but they let him out again. And I thought, this is ridiculous. If that ain't nonsense, I'd like to know what it is. You know. And they don't seem to have any common sense anymore. And there's so many things I could say about it. But that's just a few things. And but anyway, getting back to common sense again, like the Republican Party, like Trump, we'll look at some of the things he wants to do. We'll see how much common sense there is in that. He wanted to close the border, and like they had it last time, like Obama even wanted it. That makes sense, you know. They won't be flooding in all the time. And another thing that he wanted to cut taxes, and that would be good for the middle class and for industry. They might expand more, they have more money. It might bring more industry in the country when the taxes are down. And regulation, he cuts regulation, get rid of unnecessary regulation. And that would help industry thrive. You know, more of them would come back in the country, and even the ones here would thrive more. They probably feel like they're being choked with all these regulations. You know, Democrats are good at that with regulations. And well, all that makes sense. And let me see some of the others. Do you know of any of his policies besides that? There was some other one I had. Oh yeah, and he backs the police, and of course the firemen too, and the vets. He's always backing the vets, you know, and the vets, and there's so many things, if I can just all think of them now. But yet all that makes sense, you know. But the Democrats, the nonsense they come up with, but they used to make sense. But like I say, which I call viruses, these 4 viruses, leftism, wokeism, they're all isms. Marxism and globalism got in there, took over the party. They don't have no common sense anymore. It's just all nonsense. Yeah, you don't. Like I say, there's no gray areas. When you get out of, you don't have any common sense. You're going to go into nonsense, and that's what they're doing. And here's some of the things too that they get into. This is part of the Democratic Party because they kind of take up for it. 55 genders, you know. They must think my couch is a gender too. There are 55 genders. Men and women are the same, you know. That's ridiculous. That's nonsense, you know. They even, now this is really going to throw you. I can't say for sure, but I heard this on YouTube. Math, you know, like 2 and 2 is 4, math, that's white supremacists. Yeah, that's supposed to be white supremacy. And then, do you know, this is really going to wise you up. There's 2 answers to every math problem. Yeah. It didn't just used to be one. Here we've been engineering just one problem, and when you figure out a math problem, it's just one answer. No, now it's 2. I don't know where they get that, but that's some of that nonsense again, you know. And God, I could go on. Another thing, and they're connected with things like this. They agree with it. In this English department, they had a famous writer a white writer, Arthur, on the wall, picture of him on the wall. Oh, he was like a Beethoven, lived in music, you know, well-known writer all back through the century. They took that down. They put up a black lesbian writer. Why? It was white. He was white. So they took it down and put a black lesbian. Nonsense, you know. And one other thing here, Dorn, I just had it in my mind, I couldn't think. Oh yeah, another thing. In a museum a while back, they had a whole list of things about white culture. And I don't remember all of them, but two of them was don't work hard and don't be on time, because that's white culture. Isn't that nonsense, you know? Blacks are not supposed to work hard or be on time. That's white culture. I mean, how silly can you get, you know? But I guess that's about all I've got to say. But I call them viruses. They got in the Democratic Party, and it took over, and ever since they did that, they just all come out with nonsense all the time. It don't make sense. Defunding the police and all that business, and letting people back out again. You arrest them, let's let them back out. Third, fourth, fifth chance again. It don't make sense. And they lost it. And I guess it's going to get worse. You know? So that's all I got to say. I thought I would kind of explain myself
So what would be the common sense thing to do? Vote for Harris or vote for Trump?
Well, I think you could almost guess.
What?
You ain't going to vote for Harrison. What's his name? Waltz or?
Walls, I think.
Yeah. He's even worse than her. You know what he wanted? He wanted to give the immigrants ladders to get over the wall. Yeah. And he gave the immigrants in his state a driver's license. Well, they got the ID to vote now. You know, of course, you got to be registered and all that. But I know it's coming. They're gonna vote. If they vote, it's all over for us. Because my God, these millions have come in. You know, they're going to vote for Harris, and they're going to be voting this time too. They'll figure out a way. You know.
I heard someone say this is the most leftist ticket in history, Harris and Walls.
Oh yeah, they're ultra liberal. She wants a free Medicare for them. Everything's free. We're broke. I mean, we're so much in debt, and they act like they got. Well, of course, all we do is print money. You know, we don't even, there ain't no gold behind our head. Gold behind our money for what, 30 years or something? I don't know. We just print money, but it's kind of catching up with us. The dollar is the standard in the world, but China and Russia and Saudi Arabia, they're going to somehow make their own currency or something. I don't know what the deal is. There's Brazil too, I think. To make our dollar weaker. They don't like our dollar being the standard. And the way we're going at it, no gold behind it or anything. If they bring out a currency that's got gold behind it, they're going to take our dollar, you know, it's going to evaporate. You know, there won't be no standard anymore. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. And whoever looked at this, I hope maybe I'll wise you up a little bit. You know, if you're a Democrat, you ain't gonna like this.
So vote Trump.
Yeah, vote Trump. Yeah, vote Trump. Yeah. So I guess that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's something else I want to say too. I forgot to mention it about men playing in girls' sports and women's sports. I mean, if that isn't nonsense, I don't know what is. I mean, anybody with a little common sense knows these transgender women or men, whatever you want to call them, they're men. If you're a man going to be a woman, you're still a man. You've got the strength and everything. And this Olympics, you saw it in Olympics, fighting this woman, looked like a young girl. She quit after 45 seconds. She said, I've never been hit that hard, you know, and she knew she never had a chance. She just quit. And what gets me, how can he feel proud of himself winning when he knows he's a lot stronger than her? But they'll take the award, you know, they'll take it. I couldn't live with myself, you know. But they want you to believe that that's okay. That's common sense. Everybody knows, no, that's ridiculous, you know. Oh, but they've got these shots and I don't know one thing. They don't have the strength they used to. Yes, they do. They still got a man's strength and everything, muscles and everything. And they still got that strength. But it's just silly, men playing, and common sensitivity.